Back in the 2020s, the automotive industry looked at the rapid rise of artificial intelligence and braced for impact. The consensus across boardrooms was that AI was going to hit like a tidal wave, a sudden, violent force smashing existing business models overnight. Legacy automakers reacted with exactly the kind of panic you would expect. Giant, rigid corporate hierarchies scrambled to buy up software tools, trying to hastily bolt these new generative capabilities onto century-old manufacturing and retail structures. But sitting here in 2049, looking back at that panic, we can see they misunderstood the physics of what was happening. That violent, crashing wave never actually arrived. Instead, the water simply rose, until it became the calm ocean that everything now floats upon. This is the defining paradox of our fully realized intelligence age. The deeply complex systems that terrified executives in 2025 haven't taken over the world in some sci-fi dystopia. They have become completely, utterly boring. They are infrastructure, as reliable, invisible, and unremarkable as indoor plumbing or the grid. You know a technology has reached absolute maturity when it stops dominating the headlines and fades entirely into the background of daily human life. To understand how this macro shift actually functions, we have to look at something entirely mundane, a standard Tuesday morning in Toronto. This diagram illustrates the invisible choreography happening before a single commuter even wakes up. Her home AI is actively communicating with a decentralized mobility network. It pulls in local weather patterns, adjusts for a slight shift in her morning calendar schedule, and analyzes real-time pricing fluctuations on the local energy grid. A vehicle is waiting outside, but she doesn't own it. It is simply the exact right piece of hardware allocated for today's specific crosstown route. And because her home system tracked those energy prices, this specific vehicle was fully charged at exactly 2 a.m., securing the absolute cheapest kilowatt-hour rate available. En route, the local intelligence layer automatically routes the vehicle around a developing bottleneck. Simultaneously, the cabin interfaces seamlessly pull the 3 exact documents she needs for her 9 a.m. meeting directly from her calendar node, ready for review. She didn't request any of this. When she arrives at the office, the vehicle doesn't sit empty in a parking structure. It immediately joins an active local fleet. And here is the crucial economic pivot. During the afternoon demand peak, the vehicle sells its stored, cheap 2 a.m. energy back to the city grid at a premium. The personal car is no longer a depreciating asset gathering dust. Through continuous autonomous energy arbitrage, the hardware she used this morning actually generates more revenue by 5 p.m. than it cost to operate all day. That single, flawless morning commute is only possible because the industry completely dismantled its traditional architecture. We can model this shift visually. The legacy automakers, built like rigid command and control pyramids, are extinct. The organizations that survived operate as living intelligence ecosystems. They are fluid networks of human talent, data infrastructure, and AI agents that continuously reconfigure themselves around whatever objective needs solving right now. This architecture extends deeply into the physical world. The sprawling, static megafactories of the 2020s have been replaced by a distributed network of automated microfacilities. These plants receive constant data pulses from the broader ecosystem, allowing them to adapt their production lines in a matter of hours to balance supply, demand, and raw material costs. Retail spaces went through a similar collapse and rebirth. Dealerships dumped their vast lots of identical inventory many years ago. Today, they function as immersive community hubs where people consult directly with human specialists to craft highly personalized mobility configurations. Even the service center has largely vanished. Vehicles constantly run predictive diagnostics, ordering their own parts and applying over-the-air software fixes weeks before a component fails. The owner rarely knows a problem existed in the first place. The industry successfully erased the friction of ownership. The centuries-old traditional boundary between buying a physical vehicle and simply having constant frictionless mobility has been permanently erased. You might assume this level of total automation would render human workers obsolete. The reality of 2049 reveals the exact opposite. It is true that the general-purpose knowledge worker, the mid-level manager shuffling emails and routine spreadsheets, has vanished. The AI infrastructure absorbed all administrative and standard problem-solving tasks a decade ago. But by stripping away the routine, the ecosystem exposed what machines still cannot do. The premium human specialist emerged. These are the individuals whose deep relational skills, nuanced creative judgment, and ability to navigate highly complex edge cases make them irreplaceable. By automating absolutely everything that was predictable, the industry made unique, unautomatable human capabilities exponentially more valuable. Human insight is now the scarcest, highest-paid commodity in the entire network. Looking across the consolidated market of 2049, the dividing line between the organizations that survived and the legacy giants that collapsed is stark. We can map this structural failure. The companies that died all fell victim to the tool fallacy. They treated artificial intelligence as a simple software procurement exercise, just another application to awkwardly stack on top of their crumbling, rigid hierarchies. The winners understood that AI was an absolute mandate to redesign their entire organizational structure from the ground up. From the initial sparks at the 1956 Dartmouth Conference, through the neural network breakthroughs and the generative explosion of the 2020s, right up to this quiet Tuesday morning, the trajectory was always leading exactly here. The transactional age is firmly in the history books. The fully realized intelligence age has arrived. And looking back over this century-long journey, the ultimate lesson is clear. The technology itself was secondary. The real test was our capacity to redesign our human systems to match the scale, the complexity, and the speed of a newly awakened world.